Hello and welcome to Sugar, Silk and Stretch, a unique boxing podcast brought to you exclusively by Ace Podcast Nation. My name is Ben Doughty, and right now I'm on my Jack Jones. I was hoping to get my old sidekick Spencer Feon, the inimitable Spencer Feon, on this one with me because Michael Silkalajide is busy with his Muhammad Ali musical on Broadway. And I haven't heard from Gary Stretch all week. Gary Stretch is missing. If you see Gary Stretch, tell him to phone home. So, and Spencer was supposed to be joining me, but it's 9:05 already. I can't wait forever. Consequently, I am running with this. Hopefully, Spencer will figure it out, the StreamYard technology, and he will come and join me when he is free to do so. So, in the meantime, you know how the drill goes. I did this on my own this time last week. I did the show completely solo, and the show is greatly aided under those circumstances by your comments. Your comments, questions, and engagement really makes the show because I don't have any co-hosts to talk to right now. It's a shame, really, because we're talking about the biggest fight of the 21st century, and here I am on my lonesome breaking this one down for you. Spencer's appearance not pending. There's Ellen Bromson. Wonderful to see me, she says, which is good. Ellen has always got great positive things to say, and she's fantastic. So yeah, you know what? So the weigh-in occurred. I believe the weigh-in was relatively late, wasn't it? I was doing a session in Victoria Park with a young amateur boxer, and before I started it at 6 p.m. UK time, the weigh-in hadn't taken place as far as I could tell. And then by the time I finished it, an hour later, the weigh-in results were in. And we expected Fury to be lighter than recent fights. He weighed in at 262 pounds, which I believe is the lightest he's weighed in a couple of years. I think it may have been 15.7 pounds lighter than he weighed for either his last fight or his previous lightest. Okay, Usyk. See, I read that one thing I've noticed, guys. A lot of these mainstream boxing journalists are fucking useless. They get paid presumably enough money. They've got a great gig, and you can't trust them not to drop the ball on anything. I looked at the Daily Mirror because I couldn't watch the weigh-in live. I didn't see it. I've looked at the Daily Mirror. Just I typed in, Fury-Usyk weigh-in, so I could get the figures quickly and put it out to my followers and stuff. The weights, and initially the Daily Mirror supporter said that Usyk weighed 223 pounds. Now I've since heard that he didn't. Usyk weighed 233 pounds, which is quite a differential when you're talking about Usyk, who's a former cruiserweight. So many people have based their prediction and prognostication for this big fight based upon size and the old adage, a good big un always beats a good little un. So it's a bit of a fuck up as far as I'm concerned when you come up with you tell me when I'm relying on you quickly because I'm multitasking, and you tell me the man weighed 223 pounds when he weighed 233. So there we go. Usyk, Steve Compton, the historian, quite hard boiled, churlish historian on my page, who here comes Spencer Fearon now. Fantastic. There you go. This is the knowledge, man. Okay.
How you
So,
doing, mate?
what's up? What's up, Spence? Listen, I'm just going to make us bigger. I can't make you any bigger than you already are, but you know what I'm saying. Hang on a second. Here goes a layout. I'm going to make it bigger. There you go. Well done. So you're a pro. You know how to fix your image to the screen because
Yeah.
you're absurdly photogenic image as it always has been too, may I say. Spencer,
Thank
I'm
you very
glad you joined me because I can do it on my own if I have to, but I'd rather not, so
Well,
I'm
then
good to
do
get
it
your
then.
Delphic wisdom. Spencer, I was just saying, I didn't see the weigh-in. Everything's good. You don't need to put your finger away. I didn't see the weigh-in, right, Spence. I read about it afterwards because I was working. But I believe Fury went on some kind of rant afterwards.
Yeah, he did, but that's nothing new. It's Tyson Fury
It
doing
isn't.
it. I've seen him
No.
do this before. He done that in the
Wilder,
Ngannou for the
second fight.
Ngannou fight as well. Yeah, he done that
Yeah.
with the Ngannou fight where he just lost his head and started effing and blinding and blah 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 blah. And that's what he did on this occasion. So it's nothing new, Ben. No one can't look at that and think, oh my goodness gracious, what did Tyson Fury just do?
Well, see, this is the
Because
thing. My mate Leroy Nicholas, who was a good Southpaw amateur boxer in his day, and he beat our friend Mick Guilfoyle in actual fact back in the day. He said, Fury, the pressure's got to him, mate. Look, Usyk's living his head rent free. He's cracking up. And I said, no, he's
that's
not. He
nonsense.
always does that. And then he started getting into a moral angle. How disgusting is this? What kind of role model is? He's going to
Yeah,
make everybody think fighters are scum.
listen. If anybody knows Tyson Fury, that he dances to his own tune, right? And that's what he does. And he's been very, very successful by dancing to his own tune. And um, he must have something of ability. He must have something of skill why he's reached to the level that he has, and he's never been beaten. So we can't like when people like lots of people like to take this moral high ground. Um, and I've been very, very guilty of doing that myself. But me being completely honest, uh, that's Tyson Fury. He does that. So those kind of things doesn't surprise me. But I think you're doing that behavior in the wrong place. You're in Saudi Arabia. You shouldn't be behaving like that, right? It's very strict. But the thing about it is this: he's been given the keys to the castle because of how he gets treated there and everything else. So it's like you can't really blame Tyson Fury for his behavior, because nobody's not going to pull him and say, listen, this is not the right way to behave. Right. Nobody's not going to pull him on that. So he's going to behave the way that he feels fit or unfit to behave.
Can I ask you something? Because some people have said that. They say that Turki Al-Sheikh absolutely loves Tyson Fury, especially. Somebody said to me the other day, maybe if it wasn't for Tyson Fury and this phenomenon, this whole Saudi revolution would not be happening in the first place if Fury didn't exist.
Do you know what? It was Spencer Brown that sold the idea of Tyson Fury to be out there. And if you know anything about Turki Al-Sheikh, he actually really, really does know boxing.
Oh, right? Okay, that's interesting, because someone the other day said this guy is just a fan with loads of money. He's just like a casual fan with loads of money. That's what somebody said the other day.
But he's not a casual fan. I'll tell you, a casual fan wouldn't turn around and say like Roberto Duran
is his favorite fighter
and Larry Holmes are my favorite fighters. A casual fan's not going to come up with that.
He won a lot of points with me when he chose those two as his favourite fighters. Right. Some people look at his desire to make Crawford versus Canelo and Inoue versus Tank. Some people said that's casual stuff, you know.
No, it's not casual stuff. It's things that will bring eyeball to the country. You know what I mean? He's the head of sport and entertainment for the country. So therefore, his job is to bring eyeballs to the country. And the reason why I'm saying that he knows boxing, because Spencer Brown wouldn't turn around and say that who's Tyson Fury's manager. He wouldn't turn off Gold Star Promotions. He wouldn't turn around and say that he's astute on boxing historics and stuff. He wouldn't say that. He would never dream of saying that. But what he would turn around and say is that Turki Al-Sheikh knows his stuff, right? So I've heard it from 3 people, right? Like, I've heard it from John Fury, who says that Turki
I wouldn't use him as any kind of yardstick for anything too credible.
No. I would, because John Fury actually does know boxing, right?
No.
Forget about all the bravado and all the screaming and everything else and headbutting a guy and behaving, let all eyes on me. Forget all of that. Get John Fury on a 1-to-1. He's the nicest person that you can meet. Right?
Yeah, all right.
Right.
I like Peter. I'm not sure about John.
Right, I'm going to tell you again.
But I know you've sat with him. I know you've dined with him and you've hung around with him. So.
And I'm telling you now, you can't meet a nicer person. Right? Yeah. And he just gets a bit carried away because he's living very vicariously right now. I can't knock him for living very vicariously, because the things that his son is doing. Furthermore, take Tyson Fury out of the equation. The things that Tommy Fury and the adulation and attention that Tommy Fury has surmusted, right? You as a father, you're going to live vicariously through that. And one thing, we've had a conversation, and I believe him as well. He hasn't taken 1 penny off of his son, right? And if he's lying, he's going to be dying, because he said, look, it's not about that. And so, because of all of that as well, I get it. I get it. I don't condone it. I'm not a fan of that type of behavior, but I get that he's actually psychotic, right? When it comes to his kids. and he'll run off from the mouth or say stupid shit or behave stupidly and blah and everything else. I get it, but I do know that he did get warned about his behavior.
Out there, the headbutt. They told him to rein it in. Yeah.
Yeah, and you can see like he's been like a little bit embarrassed, but he's a bit quiet now. He's a bit more subdued. Why?
No, yeah, you haven't really heard from him since.
No,
Bit of an
well,
apology.
I saw him I saw him on an interview on TNT. I was watching it live when they were doing a public workout, and he's behaved himself. So it is what it is. So, but what I'm trying to say is this: yes, I know you're an idiot. Yeah, you can behave a certain way, but like I'm saying again, I know you're on a one-to-one. I know many certain people who get painted a certain way, but I know you're on a one-to-one.
Do you know what, Spence?
One-to-one.
I know that too, because everybody talks about, some people talk about Billy Joe Saunders like the Antichrist, and I know he's a lovely guy, and I know he's a very...
He's just well, Billy Joe is the same
and
thing.
a loyal guy.
He's just prone to do stupid things, right?
Yes,
but
and as is Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury is a good-hearted person, I believe, and a good guy, you know, but he's...
You know what? I don't condone the swearing and everything else and blah. But I've reached a stage in my life where someone can behave a certain way, and I actually do get it. As long as you're not physically hurting children or females, then get on with it. And that's where I stand.
So ultimately, it all doesn't matter. They're elite professionals, and they're going to fight to the best of their ability tomorrow night. So let's move on to the more technical side rather than the peripheral character aspects. A lot of people, I've seen a lot of people picking Usyk for this one, Spence. A lot of people whose boxing acumen I rate, they really think that he is going to pull it off tomorrow. I'm not so convinced for a lot of reasons, but I would like to get your take first of all in terms of how you see the fight unfolding.
I'm saying that the skill levels that that Usyk has, and now obviously he's 233 going into this fight now, right?
Yeah.
So he's not little. We've witnessed him grow into a heavyweight now. He's a proper heavyweight now.
He's a heavyweight like any of those old school heavyweights like Ali and Foreman and and Larry Holmes.
Well, no. I'm saying like 233 is that's good weight. That's good weight in today's standards. That's decent weight, right? Even though you're seeing guys who are coming at like Tyson Fury like 260 and stuff like that, but I mean that's good weight. That's just good weight. I don't care what anyone. I don't think that's good weight that he's coming at. And there's no fat on him as well. He's grown into the weight, and I'm saying like, yeah, I rate that.
So for me, I fancy Fury as long as Eddie Hearn said a couple of days ago, as long as Tyson Fury is at his best, I think he wins. I tend to share that logic because when I try to play the fight in my mind and I picture the various scenarios that may unfold, I see more ways for Tyson Fury to win than I see for Alexander Usyk to win. Who obviously he can box a masterclass, he can use angles, he can come in and out. He can use volume. You mentioned the scenario, the previous example of Michael Spinks versus Larry Holmes, certainly the first time when he kind of peppered him and ambushed him. Spinks trained with Mackie Shellstone for that fight, and he did a lot of sprints because he said he needed 15 3-minute bursts, and he kind of bamboozled Larry.
Yeah, the first fight was in '85, right? And
September.
Spinks won the fight, right?
He won.
Spinks won.
Absolutely.
He didn't win the second fight. I don't care what I'm saying, right?
Do you know what, my friend? I always believed that because I watched the rematch, obviously, in 1986, and I watched it at home. I was only 16 years old, and I believe Larry won the fight, and lots of people thought Larry won the fight. That certainly was the way it's been remembered. But I did one of those rescores back in the lockdown, back in the pandemic, and I actually got Spinks winning it and I wasn't trying to get Spinks winning it, and I actually had him winning the rematch, which surprised me.
I think you had the coronavirus then, so I can't listen.
Yeah, well, when was the last time you saw it?
About 6 months ago.
Yeah, typical.
Yeah, about 6 months. About 6 months ago. But you know what?
I ended up getting it the other way around. He
got badly hurt. Spinks got badly hurt in that as well. He got wobbled in that fight. I mean, his legs dipped, and he went on a little walkabout and stuff. So no, I didn't score it for Michael Spinks. But it is what it is. The major thing in that fight was that he stopped in the first fight. He stopped Larry Holmes from equaling Rocky Marciano's record.
He did, yeah.
Right, he stopped him from equaling it, and then Larry Holmes almost would have gone on, and then he would most probably surpassed it. But it is what it is. I think I draw a lot of similarities between Larry Holmes, Tyson Fury, and a lot of similarities between Usyk and Michael Spinks. Because but I think Usyk's a little bit more polished than Michael Spinks. Michael Spinks.
He is. He's not as herky-jerky and as unorthodox.
Yeah, but Usyk's still kind of herky-jerky. The funny thing is this, earlier today I spoke to Tony Bentley, and he's adamant, Ben, and I mean adamant that Usyk's going to beat Tyson Fury.
Yeah, well, but he has a horse in the race in a sense, because when someone's beat you, it suits you to think that they're Godzilla or they're big Godzilla.
That's what I said to him. And he said it's got nothing to do with that.
Yeah,
and all the rest of it.
He said, no, Spencer's not about that.
Yeah. He was saying, exactly. He was saying it's because Usyk is far superior to Tyson Fury boxing ability wise.
Which, I think he is. I think if you looked at them skill for skill,
he's far superior.
Yeah. Not that Fury can't box and doesn't have a good boxing IQ.
No,
and
what
he's a quick man.
Fury's big and he does things that for his size he's not meant to do.
Yeah.
Right? But I don't see excellent stuff in certain of the things that Tyson Fury does.
Michael Elijah, who can't be with us tonight because he's working on a Broadway musical about Muhammad Ali as we speak, he said that he says, look at it like this: what does Fury do that you'd like to do as a fighter? What does he do? And I'm sure you would answer nothing, right? Except money.
No, I can't say that. I cannot say that. Fury feints really well. You know what I mean? Seriously, he feints really well. It's like,
do you think the best thing he does is something he doesn't do?
Yeah, aesthetically, it's not the most pleasing to the eye when I see him do certain things, and that's because of his size and his stature. But no, and like I love the way that he can double and triple jab.
Yeah.
Right. And so, yeah.
Do you know what Robert Asagba said today?
Pardon me?
Do you know what Robert Asagba said today? He said he thinks Fury has quicker hands than Usyk. Valid? Interesting.
He thinks Fury has to put hands on him.
He said he thinks he's got quicker hands. He thinks Fury's hand speed is quicker than Usyk's. That's what he believes.
I believe so.
So that's interesting, right?
Yeah, the only reason why, I'm going to tell you why. Because Usyk doesn't throw snappy shots. Tyson Fury does.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Tyson Fury does. But we'll still see.
One of the viewers says this is kind of like Holyfield versus Big Daddy Bo.
No,
no, it's not. It says Spencer. And Jonathan O'Halloran says, "Oh, he wants you to cut to the chase." He says, "Who's Spence got winning this fight, and what's his gut feeling?"
My gut feeling.
Yeah.
You see, like when these kind of fights come up, it's always good to stick with your gut feeling from the beginning. Don't
talk yourself out of it. Like we spoke about this on the phone today.
Yeah, and my gut feeling from the beginning, Ben, as I told you earlier, was Tyson Fury. Right, so I don't really want to be swayed now by everyone being overly analytical and all the rest of it and blah 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 blah. Because me listening to someone else is like me not trusting the years.
Your own acumen.
Yeah, exactly. And I sometimes think like you can learn from certain people, but certain people just need to shut up. And so I'm gonna stick to my original, and my original was Tyson Fury, but I don't think it's gonna be easy.
No. Do you think it goes the distance more likely?
And also, on top of that, I wouldn't be surprised if Usyk beat him. It wouldn't surprise me. I wouldn't be like, oh my goodness gracious, I never saw that coming. No. It's
not a huge upset. And the bookies' odds does not reflect the huge upset, regardless of what happens. They're about even money. They're about pick 'em with the bookies. And they have been for a couple of weeks.
That's the bookies that are billions and billions of pounds are being thrown in globally over this. And the bookies are saying, ooh. You right? So they must know something, right?
Justin E says everyone is predicting a robbery of Usyk and a fix-in for Fury, unwritten but already decided. How do you feel about that, Spencer? Some people are saying if it is close, then Usyk may get shafted. That's what some people believe.
The thing about it is this: not only is the undisputed heavyweight championship of the world on show tomorrow,
Yeah.
what also is the integrity of the organization of Turki Al-Sheikh in Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
Right? So if it does go in as a bump, right, and like we believe that Usyk won the fight, but he didn't win the fight. He won the fight, but he doesn't get the decision. If he truly wins the fight and then he doesn't get the decision, then I believe that it's going to be very damning for Saudi Arabia and for what Turkey Al-Sheikh is trying to put together.
So you think that'd be an own goal, which they will guardedly be? They will guard against.
I do.
But
what
there
I
was
do
talk of
know
having
is that
6 judges, wasn't there, at one point? Do you remember that?
me?
There was talk of having 6 judges at one point.
Yeah. But I'm glad that they're not doing that, right?
Yeah.
But I don't believe that it will be controversial like that. You see, like with the Francis Ngannou, Tyson Fury won that fight. I don't care what anyone's saying.
Thank you. Thank you.
Right? But
you know,
he looked disgusting in winning it. That's
which
what
made people build that narrative that he must have lost, because sometimes when a guy like Ngannou does much better than expectations, some people tend to allow them to believe that they actually won when they didn't. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly. So, it is what it is.
Yeah, you know what? We have this ongoing predictions battle between me, Gary, and Michael on the show. And I said that if they want to make a prediction, they've got to film a video so we can play it on the show. But for some reason, Michael Elijah sent me a video, and he's picking Usyk, and so he's sticking to his guns. I was hoping to play it on the show, but for some reason, this time that the StreamYard technology won't accept his video. I don't know what you filmed it on this time, Silk. But last time we played your prediction for Garcia Haney, which turned out to be wrong. And that was kind of cool, even though you weren't here.
Everybody was wrong with that prediction of Garcia Haney.
Except for Gary. Gary picked Garcia. But do you know what happened, Spence? Because we've taken the win off Gary because of the inquiry that's pending. To do with the hostelry and all the rest of it.
Well, you shouldn't. You should leave Gary with the win, because check this one out.
Yeah.
If you went to the bookies, right, and you put a tenner on it, and you won back £30,
they're not going to take the money back.
The next day you go into the bookies.
Yeah.
The next day you go into the bookies and get your money, yeah?
Yeah.
The bookies ain't going to run you down and say, listen, by the way, it's too late now. You got your money, you went home.
I suspect you're right, but the Silk, Michael Olajide, is fiercely competitive. He hates losing anything, and he's like a harbour shark when it comes to these games. And he's even saying, if it gets made a no contest, Gary actually gets a loss and we get a win. That's how hard
Michael Olajide hates losing.
He hates losing.
He was such a good fighter. It was such a good fight.
It was a good fighter.
It was such a good fight. And there was so much hype about him, especially like 86, 87 times.
He was a big star.
Yeah, he was a massive
in boxing.
Star. But he's talking about he doesn't like losing. He's lost his wet look. He's Jericho. So
he has, but he's still. You know what? He still looks good for a man who is 60 when all said and done. He's doing 60
amazing,
like he's doing 35 or something. But
he's amazing. He's a very good energy person.
Yeah.
Here we go. Let's run McIntosh just phoning me now. 1 second.
So ask him who he fancies. Go on, let's get Ron on the show. Yeah, it's on speaker.
Yo, Ron. Oh, you landing safe, yeah?
Ron's in Saudi, right?
Yeah. Hello? Nah, it's not very good reception, mate.
Some of you must know Ron McIntosh from the commentary for BBC and other platforms. I think for Channel 5 as well. But he's out in Saudi Arabia, obviously.
You know what? I'll tell you what's good. The amount of messages that I'm getting right now. Who you got?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like I said, I'm going to still stick with Tyson Fury, but I will not be surprised if Usyk wins.
What's just he said? Nobody could get ready for a smaller, better guy like Ali or Leonard. Even Hagler Hearns couldn't get. So Leonard, even Hagler Hearns couldn't get ready for Leonard. Well, I'm not sure where you're coming from with this comment, mate. Nobody could get ready for a smaller, better guy like Ali or Leonard.
1 second, mate.
Not sure what that means.
Yo.
So,
I'm doing a live right now. No, it's all right. We just want to end one McIntosh. Yo, what you say, JD? Yeah, man. Hey, what? Sorry, JD. Really good work on TNT, you know.
So this is Ron McIntosh, who is covering the fight for TNT Sports, and he's in Saudi Arabia right now, live on the phone to Spencer Feon.
Yeah, well, I'm give me 10 minutes. I'm gonna call you lot back. I'm just doing a live on Ben Lowry's channel. He does it with Michael Largeday
And Gary Stretch.
Ben Lowry does it with Michael Largeday and Gary Stretch. Where are they? LA? No, he's in. They do it over on Zoom, so they're all over the place. They're all right.
Yeah.
So I'm on that right now. Yeah. Oh wow. All right, later.
That was Ron. Yeah. So you say everybody's asking you. Your phone's blowing up, and people are asking you for predictions.
Yeah, and that's a good thing as well, because
you got to love
showing us the magnitude of this fight.
Yeah.
Everybody's want an opinion, then they're going to come to me, and blah, which is good that people are actually talking about it, because in the build up to this, people weren't talking about it. You know what I mean?
I think because of the initial false start with the February 17th date falling out, I think people didn't really want to start banging the drum too much on the hype train. Some people were very much like, I believe it when I see him in the ring. And now Big Fight Fever has caught fire this week properly, isn't it? Which is great.
Yeah, it definitely has me.
So, do you know what I fancy? Recently, I don't bet much, as you know. I'm not a big betting man, but I bet on the Canelo fight. I bet for both fighters to land 125 plus punches and Canelo to win, which effectively got me better odds on a Canelo victory. And the punch stat thing came in. I've seen a bet that's 2 to 1.
Sorry, what odds did you get on that?
I got something like, I think it was 7 to 2, so it was like 20 quid came back with 75.
It's not bad, is it?
Just not bad for a straight Canelo win, as long as they throw a lot of punches between them, right? So I've never done that before, by the way, a CompuBox type bet. So I've seen another one, yeah?
What, you just walked into an ordinary bookie shop and said
no, it's Sky Bet. They give you specials, and they try and drag you in and tempt you. And one of the bets they offered, it was like a menu. It said both fighters to land 125 plus punches and Canelo to win. So it's like, as long as it's a high volume fight and goes the distance, Canelo win. It doesn't have to go the distance, but they need to throw those punches. Yeah, they need to land those punches. They both had to land 125 plus, which they did, according to CompuBox. So I won. Yeah. So I've seen another one. What do you think of this? Fury to land 10 plus punches in rounds 1 and 2. That's 2 to 1.
Fury to throw
to land 10 or more punches in both of the first 2 rounds. That's 2 to 1. Not a bad bet, is it?
I don't think he's going to land that many punches in the first.
Maybe he won't do it in the opening rounds. Maybe he won't land 10 punches.
They'll be feeling that and looking.
Well, that's the element of gambling and the element of luck and the element of should I, shouldn't I? But it's interesting, isn't it? It's an interesting angle to explore.
And that's why I don't gamble.
Yeah. It's well, I think it's sort of obviously your religion forbids gambling in any case, so.
Got nothing to do with religion. Even though I weren't religious, I wouldn't gamble.
But no, yeah, you know what? I've never understood. As you know, I've had my vices and I've had my issues with alcohol and drugs, but I've never ever been gripped by gambling. Not even at my most vice-ridden and most dissolute. I've never got the thing that people get addicted to gambling.
Yeah. I know, but the thing is this: I know people that have, and it's kind of like the same. I know people that have been grotesquely addicted to gambling, which I didn't understand, but as you get older, I get it that anyone can be gripped by a vice. Could be anything.
Addiction is defined by doing something against your will. Ultimately, you don't start that way, but you end up doing it when you don't really want to do it, but you do it anyway.
Exactly.
Or you go do it. Justin E says, I think the extra £12 is big. It's good weight for Usyk, and he's a bottomless gas tank. But will he pack a bigger punch? Can he take Fury out early? Nobody is saying that. I don't see him knocking Fury out, to be honest with you.
Neither do I. I don't think he hits hard enough to do that. But
no.
I think he's clever enough to do that to kind of wear you out. And
he nearly stopped AJ. He looked like he was going to stop AJ in the 12th round.
In the first fight, at one point. I was ringside for that, me and my missus. Yeah, he had him going. He had AJ going.
Had him going right at the dying seconds.
Yeah, he had him going.
But is Fury more durable than Joshua, or has he just got better recuperative powers?
He's got better recruitment powers.
Yeah.
Because
I know you're tight with AJ anyway, so you ain't
pardon
gonna.
me?
I know you're tight with AJ in any case, so.
Nah, no. But the thing about it is this: it's like it's not whether you're tight, because what I can say is this: AJ's camp have never paid for me to go out to Saudi Arabia and look after me like how
And Furies have.
like how exactly. So it's got
Yeah.
nothing to do with that. But AJ did have a really special dinner. It's about a month and a bit ago now. In Ruffles down in the West End. It was incredible. It was incredible, and I got an invite from her, and he even phoned me to say, "Unks, make sure you come." And I was like, "Nah, I ain't gonna go nowhere." But I went, and it was amazing. Right, it was amazing. But I'm still saying, look, you ain't paid for me to go to Saudi Arabia, so it is what it is. We'll see. We'll see. Like, hopefully, if Tyson Fury can come through victorious tomorrow, then we'll see what will happen with him and AJ, because the talk of the town is that tomorrow night, whatever happens, the IBF are gonna strip.
Yeah, and it's going to be Hrgovic and Joshua for the Hrgovic will be our winner versus Joshua in September at Wembley.
Yeah, and I'm gonna be real with you. I think Hrgovic will beat Dubois.
I was with Don Charles yesterday, and obviously we spoke about the fights and ahead of time. But it's a tough fight, and obviously one of them presumably has to lose it. It's assuming it's not a draw. But what I think I said to Don was, I think it's an absolute outrage that as soon as we get an undisputed heavyweight champion, we're immediately going to splinter it and dismantle it. Literally as soon as we've done it.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter, because the WBC made this special belt, right?
Yeah.
And similarly to...
And that will be the champion no matter what, yes?
Yeah, come on. Just like when Lennox Lewis got stripped of his WBA title, right?
Yeah. Or when Muhammad Ali got stripped of his WBA title in 1965.
Yeah, exactly. Same thing. Well, you got... Imagine that.
Right, Eddie Machin and Ernie Terrell fought for it.
Eddie Machin and Ernie Terrell fought for the vacant title.
Yeah.
Right?
But no one took it seriously back then. Nobody.
Yeah,
not even Ernie Terrell.
Exactly. Right. No, but the thing about it is this: we never said like, it's a unification of the WBA title when Ali fought Ernie Terrell. Right? Oh. We thought Ernie Terrell challenged for the heavyweight championship, but what?
Of course.
Reason why? Because the real guy who won the legitimate title was the guy, regardless that you're splitting off another group. And the thing what people don't realize is that the WBA was around before the WBC.
They were in the guise of
about 7 months. Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, there was WBA champions were named in 1963, and the WBC caught up around 1964. But as you know, the precursor to the WBA was the National Boxing Association, the NBA. And the New York State Athletic Commission was eventually absorbed into the WBC once they became a thing. So you can tie those. You can look at those pre-sanctioning bodies, alphabet boys. You can kind of say it was about the NBA and the New York Commission, which is why Joe Frazier fought Buster Mathis merely for recognition in New York, but it still carried quite a lot of crowds.
It's funny that you say that, because I just watched that fight today.
Yeah.
I just watched that fight today. I was like,
Buster Mathis and Joe Frazier, yeah.
And when we're talking about when the titles got split and everything else, like, people see, let me tell you this. If Jimmy Ellison's boxer light heavyweight, it'd be one of the greatest light heavyweights of all time.
Do you know? And he fought Ruben Hurricane Carter. Of course you know.
Yeah, I know he did.
Yeah, which is
I know he did.
Remarkable, really, isn't it? When you think that, that he was actually boxing a middleweight at one point as a pro as well. And,
but
he went to heavyweight because that was where the money is. Same as.
Right, I'm telling you now, if you'd have boxed as a light heavyweight, he was so skillful, such a good fighter,
Yeah.
Was that if Fury is losing, he'll punch with his palm. His palm heels, elbows, head, arm wrench. He won't lose fair, and has always been a dirty fighter.
I've seen a few people suggest he'll get disqualified. He might get himself disqualified if it's not going well.
He's not going to get disqualified.
Nah.
I don't think so. He's not going to get disqualified. If he
loses... Some people's hatred of Fury or dislike, does it prevent them from thinking rationally about the man in terms of his?
No, because what I'm trying to say is this. I think for a while, when people, because the British public kind of turned on Anthony Joshua.
Because of Black Lives Matter. Let's be honest. That's what it was.
They turned on him, but he's kind of won them back now, ain't he? Right?
I think so. I think he got a lot of points for knocking out Ngannou the way he did. I think he felt like he struck a blow for boxing.
Well, he did, and so he's like AJ's like kind of back as the man, and it's kind of helped as well that the British public weren't too keen on him after he left Robert McCracken and how that went. Do you know what I mean? You know, it goes. They like to know that you know your place, and I think it's good now that he's with Ben Davison and in that camp. You know what I mean? Because they, you know, they enjoy that because it's somebody that they can relate to.
And our old mate Big Barry Smith in the camp.
Yeah, exactly. So there's somebody that they can look on and say that they can relate to that person, and because of that, it's good for them, you know.
Yeah. So that's why some people have suggested that Fury is likely to get a squeeze if it comes down to a squeeze situation, because everybody wants to see Fury versus Joshua. Nobody wants to see Joshua versus Usyk 3.
But you're saying that, yeah? After Joshua's last performance, I think people could actually fit that to say, right, we're going to see that again, right? But let's just be realistic. The world would want to see Joshua and Fury.
Yeah,
right?
Absolutely. And has done for like 5 years, 4 or 5 years.
Exactly. They don't want to see that fight. They still want to see Joshua and Wilder. They still do want to see that fight, right? But
they do.
Wilder's got to get past Zhang, which is not an easy proposition.
June the 1st.
Yeah, that's 2 weeks away. So, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Do you fancy going to that? Maybe we're not going to this fight. Maybe we'll go to June the 1st instead.
Maybe.
You up for it?
Yeah, maybe. It's like I said already, I'm not that keen on none of the fights on June the 1st.
You're not that excited by would it have made a big difference for you if Better Be Evan Bivol was still fighting?
Yeah.
You know,
I would,
that would
for that, then maybe I'd have gone. But I have no real interest or no burning desire inside my chest to say that I want to go and see that fight. And that's not me being disrespectful. It's me, like, I'm not the 5v5 thing. You know how it goes. I'm not.
Yeah.
That.
And you've been to Saudi Arabia before for a big fight. You were there for.
The thing about it is this. As far as I'm concerned, I went for the Raw show, and the Raw show was
the first one.
First thing where they were opening up. I went to now. I don't know what they're gonna do for this fight or how it is, but the other shows that I've seen at Saudi, they still look good, but it doesn't top what I witnessed. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It doesn't top what.
Well, it was the sheer assemblage of legends that were in town for that particular weekend.
Yeah.
You know. I mean, I've seen them out now. I mean, I've seen Larry Holmes and Roberto Duran on some video. I think it was Larry Holmes' Instagram before we came on here. I saw there was Duran, there was Holmes, there was someone else, maybe Holyfield.
Todd was out there as well, and but like I said, nothing doesn't top that experience because I could have gone. I was going to take the plane this morning and go, but I was like, I can't be asked, man.
No, because you were saying, you asked me, you called me about 2 days ago saying, do you want to go to this fight? I got tickets. And I said, if you'd asked me the week before, I could have made that happen. But, you know, we've got plans and families and all the rest of it.
I've got 2 decent seats from Gold Star Promotions. But I'll give that one a rest.
Yeah. This is a good comment, by the way, from Just Denis, who says, I truly hope your guest is right and the Saudis clean this mess up. It's been corrupt for 140 years. There is nothing in the world like boxing. You love it. You love the game passionately, yet hate it. Which I think we can all identify with that because we do love it. But there's so many. It is crooked as you like, and it is very disingenuous.
I'm going to say this again. If Usyk wins and we sit down and he gets jobbed, then it's a black eye for Turki Al-Sheikh, right? Because you've come with all this cash and everything else, but then, right? So I think that, I hope that he respects the dictator, or I believe that he does. I mean, even though I do know that the Saudis are nuts for Tyson Fury, right? Yeah. I know they're nuts for him.
Well, I mean, there is always a tendency to veer towards the bigger commercial animal. You simply can't help it. We've seen it through time immemorial. Exactly. But to recap then, you're picking Fury. I
I'm
am
picking
picking
Fury.
Tyson Fury. I see more options for him to win. I think it may well go the distance, but either way, however it ends up, I fancy Tyson Fury to
I'm
prevail if
picking
he's
Fury,
remotely his best.
but I would not be surprised if Usyk beats him. I was having a chat with one of my cousins. You met my cousin Donald, and
Yeah.
me and him were having a chat the other day. And he said, "Look at the pedigree of Usyk. He's got real pedigree.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Olympic champion, World Games champion. You know what I mean? Cruiserweight undisputed champion, unified heavyweight champion. He's got very good pedigree, mate.
He has. So Michael
Very,
Olajide
very
is
good.
picking Usyk. I'm sorry I can't play you guys the video, but it's not accepting the format
Well,
this
you know
time.
what? So what I'm trying to say is like it would not surprise you, but I'm just being true to myself, and I'm saying I'm going by my original thought. My original thought was Usyk did not impress me one bit against Daniel Dubois.
The world. Well, not only was he not impressive per se, Spencer, he showed, in the eyes of many, he showed some serious frailty because he looked like he was on the verge of being stopped. And if he hadn't got that A side privilege leverage, then if that had been Kovalev versus Ward 2, nobody would have given him any sympathy at all. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
How many times was Ward hitting Kovalev on the belt line, and they were just like, "Get up or shut up," Whereas
You
Usyk,
know
because
what?
he was
You know what?
fighting in
You know
Poland,
what? It's because the whole world is Ukraine sympathizers right now, right? And that's the truth. But I'm gonna be real with you, right? I'm gonna be real with you. That was a low blow.
yeah. And you know what, Silk? I wish Silk was here now because Silk argues blind that it wasn't. He will swear blind that it wasn't, and I never saw something so divisive. Don Charles says absolutely not a low blow. So, Michael Elijah agrees with him. And Alec Wilkie said anyone who doesn't think that was a low blow doesn't know boxing. It doesn't have to be in the balls to be low. That was Alex said,
Well, exactly.
So it was a very divisive issue, Spence.
You know what? I was there originally saying nah. It was, they bumped him, blah blah blah, all the rest of it. But that's because you got an emotional alignment there. Go watch the fight properly.
Yeah.
And I watched it many times. Now I was watching it every day. And I said it was a low blow, but these things are conjecture as well. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's open to interpretation, but it was a low blow. Let's just call it what it was, right? It doesn't have to be on your balls to be a low blow.
Exactly. If it's anything, I asked Bob Williams, and he said it's the hips to the navel, hip line to the navel through. Is considered the belt line. It's not about where your belt of your trunks is, where you wear your shorts.
Right.
It's about that imaginary line which delineates the above and below the belt.
And so when you look at it like that, it was a low blow. But the thing about it is this: Walaikum Salam Hamza, right? When you're looking at somebody who is like a Daniel Dubois was losing that fight hands down.
Yeah.
So if that is your only thing to say, right, be different now if you hit him on the chops and he went over. Yeah, I mean, you hit with a shot which is open to interpretation. The dust has settled now. So the dust has settled. I'm saying, right, it was a low blow. When I watched it today. Sorry, 2 days ago. It was a low blow. And he quit in that fight as well.
See, this is the thing. Some people say that ultimately Dubois doesn't handle adversity so fantastically well either. He has more human, more limits than some fighters, for instance, like a Joe Fraser or an Arturo Gatti, who seem to have these more inhuman kind of resistance to those kind of circumstances. But as I say, that we will see how Dubois gets on June the 1st. It is a risible shame that they will look to splinter and fragment the title literally as soon as they've unified it. But as you say,
it don't matter.
The standing is what counts, and common sense is what counts.
It doesn't matter, right? You'll have an undisputed champion. It doesn't matter whether they fragment the titles. It doesn't matter because when they don't tell Lennox Lewis, Evander Holyfield was world champion after fighting John Ruiz for the 50 millionth time.
Yeah.
But we didn't care about that. So, and I remember I was feeling aggrieved. Evander Holyfield was a 4-time heavyweight champion of the world. I'm like, oh, shut up.
And that's the thing. You have to have a degree to be a true historian and connoisseur, Spencer, as you are. You have to have a degree of a filter and common sense and the ability to interpret history rather than just to regurgitate statistics. There are so many people today masquerading as historians when all they do is plaster a load of statistics all over social media. You know what I mean?
Well, that's not known history. So
No.
So I don't really like it. People can talk what they want to talk. You know what I mean? It's like gone are the days, and I think you're the same. Well, I have to prove what I know from what I don't know. I
No,
don't give
yeah.
a shit. You know what I mean?
Listen, Spence, there's always going to be some geek who knows even more than we do about the history of boxing, like a parade of tin wooden soldiers, right?
Yeah.
But knowing boxing is also about the other. Having a good grasp of history, yes, I think it's quite important. But understanding, having worked a corner, having boxed yourself, having understanding how to read a fight.
Listen,
These are
these
all
guys,
aspects that matter.
listen, bro. You've hit the nail on the head. And that's why I'm not interested for what people they like. I remember, like, when I first come in the game, like from on the other side, everything I just wanted to battle with anyone who thought they knew anything about boxing. I just want to
Trivia
battle.
face off. Yeah.
Exactly. Like when I first met you at City Boxer. When I met you there, right?
Yeah.
I didn't say shitty. I said City, right?
Yeah.
When I met you down there, and it was like everything. I just want. Oh, you don't box, do you? All right, then. Well, what? No.
But the thing was, I think you immediately recognised a kindred spirit. I remember the first time you clicked that I was like you were in that way when you said we were talking about left hook, and I was showing one of the clients to roll and throw a left hook, and you said, you know who was good at that? Edwin Rosario. I said, well, he was kind of connected to Tyson's stable and Bill Caton, and you said, see, this man's a historian, and that's how that was kind of where we started hitting it off at that point.
Yeah. But
Because
Edwin Rosario, when you get into him, boy, could he throw a left hook though.
Yep. And he had that strange hand position. He held his hands quite out in front of him. You know what I mean? But because if you're going to be a really good fighter, you need to deviate from the textbook. If all you've got is textbook, then maybe there's a limit to, except for a guy like Arguello, for instance, who did things fantastically well, but consummately correct. But do you know what I mean? Most good fighters have something a little bit more unorthodox about them, don't they? In whatever way it might be. They do something different.
Exactly. So, Bensky, what's your call for the fight, mate? Because I'm doing one now. I've got a back on. What's your call for the fight?
I'm saying Fury, one way or the other. I mean, I most likely will veer to Fury on points.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. You were saying.
And what's the odds for that? Fury on points?
I'd have to look at Sky Bet, but I believe it would probably be about. I know Fury for the straight win is about evens, or it was evens or 4-5, somewhere in that region.
Okay.
For the points victory, I'd have to have a look. To be honest with you, it's something that I could find out. But see, on Sugar Silk and Stretch, we don't have to predict the method of victory. We just have to get the right winner. That's how we get a point.
Yeah.
So,
all right then, my friend. I'm gonna do one. Thanks for everyone.
No worries. Thanks for coming on, Spence.
Was it Sugar Silk and Stretch?
Yeah.
Peace to fingers. I'm out. Will you watching the fight tomorrow, Ben?
I'm just gonna be watching at home because I've got the kids.
Okay. It's like 23 quid to buy it.
24.99.
24.99. That's fucking piss take. But I'm gonna be buying it. I don't know which one to buy. Am I gonna buy the DAZN?
I would get TNT Sports because I've got TNT Sports as part of my phone contract.
Okay. Yeah, I might do that. So I've got TNT Sports as part of my phone contract, but for some strange reason, when they changed from BT to TNT Sports, I've forgotten the login. So I've got it on the phone. I can't even use it.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure you'll figure it out one way or another. Anna.
That'll make no difference. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go watch it on. Yeah, I might watch the TNT version, because the Sky's coverage has been kind of dead for this,
Yeah. DAZN have got it as well, right? They've got 3 platforms. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's on 3 platforms. Yeah, in the UK.
Yeah. For sure. Well, no doubt we'll have words while it's ongoing. But thank you. It's been great to kind of interact with you in this format again. It's been a while. So Spencer Feon, always a pleasure. And have a good weekend. We'll speak soon.
All right, my bro. Take care. God bless.
No worries. Let me see. Okay, it was good to get Spencer on. He only intended to be on for 15 minutes, he said, because he had to go out, but we got 50 minutes out of him, which can't be bad. There was people saying here, I think Usyk puts him on the canvas 3 times, and the last one is the that's a very bold prediction. Use Usyk by KO in the 11th. Top show right here, one of the best boxing shows on YouTube, hands down. Proper breakdown. Thank you, Hamza. I really appreciate that. And I used to work with Spencer a lot back in the day. The first podcast type show I ever did was with Spencer. We called it Doughty and the Spirit. We both well, I just said we've come a long way since then. I'm not sure if we've come a long way, but we've experienced a lot of things since then, at the very least, and a lot of water has gone under the bridge. So I am sorry that I wasn't able to play you Michael Largeday's prediction. I'm not sure what happened with the video, but it just wouldn't accept it. It wasn't an MP4, so I take the blame for not converting that one in time. But the Silk, I will go on record as saying the Silk absolutely predicted Usyk. So there will be no qualms about that. If Usyk wins, then Silk will be given the victory as well. Gary Stretch, I know for a fact he is strongly, vociferously predicting a Fury win. He has all along. I'd be astonished if he changed his mind. So I'm on Fury. Spencer Feon, today's special guest, is on Fury. Gary Stretch is vehemently on Fury, and the Silk is picking Usyk. I'm sure you've all got your own different views on it, including Jab Grab 123, who says Fury will walk him down. The ref is made for Fury. We'll see a Cunningham-style victory. We'll soon find out, fellas. We'll soon find out. As I said, I quite like the look of the punch volume bets, which I'm going to look at a little bit more and consider them in the next 24 hours. We will be possibly doing a watch along tomorrow night. I'm going to talk to the guys and see if we can coordinate that. So if you enjoyed the last watch along we did, some of these badly drawn boys trying to dig me out here with some questions. I don't think I got time for that. He's like, why do you go to kids' playgrounds with your boxing clients, annoying the general public instead of renting space in a gym? Because I like annoying people, badly drawn boy, especially you. But I did like your songs, though. I did like your album. You know, you had a great. There was a great song you've got called "Pissing in the Wind." Went back when you won the Mercury Prize, and you're pissing in the wind by trying to dig me out. Certainly, absolutely, without question, indubitably. Usyk by late stoppage, says black and white truths for me, Ben. Just tuning in, Federico. Yeah. We will do a watch along. I think Federico. I've got the kids over tomorrow night, but at 11 o'clock they'll probably be in bed or thinking about going to bed. So I don't see a problem with that. And also, regardless, we'll be doing a show on Sunday night when we either gloat or commiserate or whatever else. So look out for the watch along. I will keep you informed on that. Watch this space. We will definitely be back Sunday, regardless. Thank you for watching. In the meantime, be lucky. Keep punching. Stay safe. Don't forget to like, subscribe, support, and get involved.